Turning to the situation in Gaza, our colleagues from the Office of the Coordination for Humanitarian Affairs tell us that the catastrophic situation in Gaza is the worst since the war began. Strikes have continued across Gaza, particularly in North Gaza, where the last remaining partially functioning hospital, Al-Auda, was forced to evacuate last night after repeated strikes on and around the facilities in recent days. Attacks also continued further south in Deir al-Balah, in areas of Al-Buraj and Al-Nusrat camp, part of a pilot initiative aimed at pooling resources to respond to some of the most critical. Displacement continues across the Gaza Strip, with nearly 200,000 people displaced in the last 2 weeks alone. Yesterday, Israeli authorities issued a renewed displacement order covering about 30% of the Strip's total territory in North Gaza, eastern parts of Gaza City, and in Deir al-Balah. To date, displacement orders have covered the entirety of the northernmost and southernmost governorates, as well as eastern parts of each of the three governorates in between. Partners note that the limited movement of people observed in recent days appears to be driven by search for food, the search for necessity, more than by displacement orders. We and our humanitarian partners are continuing to provide support to people in need, despite the immense challenges on the ground and the crippling restrictions on the amount and type of assistance that's being allowed into the Gaza Strip. Humanitarian needs have exploded in Gaza following the 80 days of the nearly total blockade of aid going into the Gaza Strip. And the limited amounts of aid entering the Strip are nowhere near sufficient to support the 2.1 million people in desperate need of assistance. As conditions on the ground further deteriorate and public order and safety breaks down, looting incidents continue to be reported. Today, a group of armed individuals stormed the warehouses at a field hospital in Deir al-Balah, looting large quantities of medical equipment, supplies, medicines, nutritional supplements that was intended for malnourished children. The humanitarian community reiterates the need for full lifting of the blockade on Gaza and action to ensure that the root causes of widespread deprivation Strip are addressed.
And the famine. So do you have a comment on this?
Listen, I think we are at a very delicate time in a very delicate period. There are negotiations going on. There's mediation going on. Our message is get the job done, right? That the parties find the political courage to reach an agreement, to support the work of the mediators. It would not be helpful to that goal if we started to comment on comments from one or two of the parties.
Yeah, but on the framework not addressing famine.
Listen, I think our goal is to get as much humanitarian aid in. We want the ceasefire to return. We want to see the hostages released, and we want to see the suffering of people alleviated.
Is there a role of the Secretary General? Do you anticipate a role in the June